Oh, that cracks me up every time. So, hello, everybody. My name is Charlie. I'm a non-binary sci-fi fantasy writer, and I've been doing a lot, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I am joined today by my lovely and super chaotic, because he forgot to take any of his stuff for ADHD yesterday. So, wee, husband Brian. Woo! We're also joined by the please don't kill him too much today, Brian Tom.
Think
Carrie
about
is
that
here.
too much. I'm just gonna take a nap.
Megan is here. And Kat is
Let me
here.
know when it's time to recover my body.
Didn't we recover your body?
Yeah, we did.
We recovered your body. Yeah, we stopped at the docks. Oh, we're about to go take a mine site, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, Brian was having a. We had a day yesterday. It started with a family medical emergency that was not actually a family medical emergency, but we didn't know that at the time because we were told it was a medical emergency, and that threw all of yesterday off. And yeah. Long story short, everything's fine. Our nerves are still frazzled.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There's a lot of patterns I don't have to rigidly stick to, but my morning pattern kind of sets up everything for the day. And if I don't follow it, if it gets interrupted, it's bad. Well, problematic. Not necessarily bad. Could be very exciting and fun.
I feel that like if I don't follow my routine, then nothing ever gets done the rest of the day. Like I have to wait until the next morning to start over.
Yeah, in this case, I forgot to take some stuff that helps me to not be quite so frenetic.
Uh,
So I'm very frenetic now.
Let me put it this way. Before I got up this morning, because with my back acting up, I couldn't sleep in the bedroom last night. Brian decided to completely reorganize the bedroom without asking first, and has already reorganized it back into the way that it was before it was reorganized later. So
oh my.
tonight's game will be fun.
Yeah,
It's gonna
apparently,
be interesting.
10 seconds is about the length of before you get to too long today for me. I'm moving way faster than everybody else around me, I guess. I don't know. Charlie, I think that's your crossbow. Or maybe that's Tom's. The crossbow's still on the item stand.
My crossbow is missing, so that might be mine.
Yeah, you can just
I almost stole it when I saw it there, but I was like, I don't know whose this is.
Yeah, it's being clever, and I put a crossbow in. I got rid of the Michelins box because we don't need it anymore.
So where's the
Over
crossbow
here.
now?
In front of the chair. The item stand can also go. It was just a thing. So Tom, there are a ton of mushrooms for making more magic foods.
Okay.
And I don't know if you need to re-up your magic food supply before tonight's Madcap adventure. I'm hoping you're having fun being all wizardy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, being all wizard. There we go. I can sound like the kids these days. Woo.
Yeah, what, in a galaxy far, far away?
Yes.
By the way, one of the things I love about Star Wars is how everything has a backstory. Like everything has a backstory, and they actually wrote the backstory to why anybody calls anything wizard, and it goes back to one Jedi Padawan who thought it was funny, and all of the kids that were all of the younglings copied it because he was quickly becoming a knight and had a lot of mystique around him, and that's where it came from. It's one annoying Jedi who thought it would be funny to get everybody to say stuff's wizard, and it actually worked.
I mean, that's what happens when you have something like this lasting this long. There's always somebody who's going to open their smart mouth and just go, okay, but what would be the reason for this stupid little writing thing? Because in the end, almost every bit of minutia for Star Wars is trying to explain why what's his name, George Lucas, is such a hack writer. But that's the beauty of if they really love your work, they will come up with a reason.
And entire fandoms have been built on less.
Oh yes. I mean,
Ooh, new
look at
item,
Anne Rice.
cooked lox meat.
Yeah, I could.
I love Anne Rice so much, and she had a few moments of brilliance with a whole bunch of, wow, Anne, you wrote that. Okay. Mixed in the middle.
Yep.
Like, it's still hard for me to admit to myself that she wrote violin. Like, I know she did. I know that that is definitely her fault. But at the same time, I also love that she was able to get the imprimatur of the church on her Jesus books, even though she uses a lot of non-canonical content in them. Like, how much mojo did she have with the Catholic Church by the end? Because, dang, they put the imprimatur on some stuff that used to get you burnt at the stake for saying.
True.
She includes the story of Jesus killing the boy because he upset him while he was playing with his toys. Like, somehow she still got the imprimatur, which for those who are not Catholic, what that means is the Catholic Church has officially rated this document as nothing in here is contrary to Catholic teaching. It's the official "it's all good" from the Catholic Church, which means it has to be reviewed by, I think, 3 priests, and then they submit a report to the bishop, and then the bishop has to officially sign it, and if he is wrong, can be defrocked. It's the system they put it. Yeah, it's the system they put in place when they decided, having an official banned book list was not a good look.
Yeah. By the way, I have found out how Divergers curse in this game.
I'm curious.
I'll kick your arse.
Of course, they're British.
Because, okay, I may be having some fun seeing what happens when I fire at them from a distance. And no, they can't figure out where it's coming from, so...
Were you what now from a distance?
Fire at them.
Oh, the Divergers?
Yeah, I'm just
Sorry, I'm a little
raining,
slow.
fireballs from a distance on them. Apparently-
Just so you know, Tom, you are not sharing your screen, so we cannot
I
see
don't think
you
I'm
firing
sharing
the fireballs
Okay.
at them.
We only get to hear
Okay.
about your.
Banners. Tom screen.
So we may get attacked by Divergers when.
No, because I've been doing this for like 5-10 minutes now, and well, I've gotten in the curse once or twice. They have not actually come over. Although it does help if I do not hit something right in front of me to, blast myself with a fireball.
Well, I mean, I'm just doing the fun thing of putting in the windows I neglected to put in when I was building the towers. So I have to like take the walls out and hope the whole thing doesn't collapse before I get the piece back in.
Oh man.
Hmm.
You know,
That stands.
fun stuff.
That needs to go.
Because I'm building the walls in the round, it's a lot easier to just build them solid and then poke holes in them usually.
So today I spent the entire day, or a good portion of the day at least, doing research on, well, reading other people's research on bragging and boasting and self promotion. And my brain is numb from all this information. But I learned nothing like that was really there were some things that were sort of surprising, but for the most part, the information was not very surprising at all. Like the fact that women have a difficult time with self promotion, and that leads to them not getting hired as often. And uh, one of the one of the studies I read uh, said that it's their fear that's of like retribution for self promotion that is causing them to perform like less well as they would otherwise, and so that is like negatively impacting. And I think that's an interesting like thought. I don't know like I don't necessarily think like that is all there is to it, but it was a very interesting study. So I'm going to have to like read them in depth and like pick them apart.
When you think about it, we do tend to punish women for succeeding.
Yes.
Like,
There is the we do punish them for, or women in general, for
Behind you, Tom.
going against gender stereotypes, which like if the woman is promoting others, then it's seen as okay, but as soon as she starts promoting herself, then the negative perceptions kind of enter into the equation. And oh, there was one interesting, where did I have my notes up. Oh, there was one really great paragraph. I'll read a little bit of it, but
Oh darn.
the impact of systemic racism, classism, xenophobia, and other biases was categorically absent when the concept of imposter syndrome was developed. Many groups were excluded from the study, namely women of color in various income levels, genders, and professional backgrounds. Even as we know it today, imposter syndrome puts the blame on individuals without accounting for the historical and cultural contexts that are foundational to how it manifests in both women of color and white women. Imposter syndrome directs our view towards fixing women at work instead of fixing the places where women work. And I thought that was a really interesting paragraph to like mull over.
Yeah.
and it makes
Because
a lot
we
of
do
sense.
talk about imposter syndrome a lot. Like it's in recent years it's gotten more popular, and we spend so much time focusing on like how the individual can better themselves so that they can, you know, compete against this system that's set against them instead of just fixing the system.
Well, also, I think that some of that has to do with, I don't know what to call it. If I were a right-wing reactionary, I would call it cancel culture, but that's not the right word. This call-out culture, maybe, that we have, where we tend to lionize certain people if they are autodidacts, but demonize others for it.
The comment's safe.
And so it makes, I've noticed it gives a tendency for people to sell short their own accomplishments because they don't want to be seen as bragging about them, because they don't want to face any backlash for being seen as bragging about their own accomplishments. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, because bragging is considered very cringe.
Yeah.
And which means that unless you have a really well-developed friend group, there is no way to actually speak of yourself without it being considered a negative trait.
Yeah.
Move the portal right.
Oh, there was a study I read that was really interesting. It was published in 2018, and they did a study on various age groups to see how they like perceived boasting, and the younger age groups preferred the boasters over the people who were not boasting, as long as they were not like lying. Like they could, as long as the boasting was accurate, they preferred the boaster to the humble person, which I thought was really interesting. Like that younger generations might be having a different reaction to what we perceive as boasting now might not be boasting to them.
Well, I think,
yeah.
I wonder personally about this, because I've been thinking about this a lot, because I am an avid fan of the internet, in that as a human being who lived a good portion of life before mainstream adoption of the internet happened, you know, I remember how things were in the before time, and I understand how younger generations might try to lionize certain aspects of that, but it was really hard to maintain relationships before email.
Yeah.
You know, that was actively seeing people a lot. It's really hard. Anyway, sorry. You're saying, Tom?
That was something else I heard recently. Glory found. I can't remember what the study was, but so humans in general, trust the information from the person who speaks the most in a group, even if their information is incorrect and always wrong. They will actually still trust that person as more credible. Whoever just takes up the most airtime.
That explains so much.
Yeah.
Talk radio in general.
Yeah. But one of the things that I've been really thinking about a lot with this is how, when these systems were put into place, we didn't take in any of the cognitive errors that the brain has in their construction. And I think that this has led to some of the more problematic aspects of modern life, because, like, for example, because this is something I talk about way too much, and poor Brian has to hear me talk about it again, but you know, we have a negativity bias. We evolved out on the plains where, you know, if there is a lion, that needs to be all that you care about. Nothing else really matters except for that lion that might eat you. And so our brain will take in and fixate on any negative information. And
it's somewhere in it's a 5 to 9 to 1 ratio of positive to negative.
Yeah. And at its best, it can take people that you respect giving you at least two compliments to every one criticism for you to accept that any of the compliments have happened.
Yep.
And
That way people
Yeah.
advocate for the sandwich method of critique.
yes.
Two compliments
Yes.
with a critique in the middle.
Yeah, because it's not a personal thing. This is how your brain works. Your brain is designed to go, oh, is that a lion? And so any
Also-
negative information gets weighted much heavier in your processing.
Also, it prioritizes the first and last information it hears far more than the middle.
Yeah.
This is actually something I learned in my Alzheimer's research, because one of the suggestions they have is if you have something you want the person with Alzheimer's to do, but they're not willing to, like, but you still want to give them choices and whatnot, you give them like two options, but the last one is the option that you want them to choose, because they're more likely to go with that one than the other option. Like, it was a
And
very
they'll start to
interesting.
they'll start to forget the first two.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, but also it's it's like stronger in your memory. Like it's more present than the other. So I guess, yeah, I was basically saying the same thing, just a different way.
But this is why, like, when people like me start going railing about what Facebook did, they really harmed a lot of people when they went and tested just making people angry for engagement, because
Yeah.
they flooded all of those feeds with nothing but negative information, and that has very serious and long-lasting psychological effects on people, and will affect how they process information going forward.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because if you hear a lie that gets your emotions up, makes you angry, stressed, or what have you, you'll have to hear the truth 10 times or more just to have it register.
Yeah,
in
there's
your brain.
also that whatever is the first version you hear, you then judge everything else against it.
Yes.
That is why it used to be in politics, you needed to be the first person to tell your version of the story, even if it wasn't a very good version, because it was still far more effective than the next version.
That's why you wanted to get out in front of the scandal, because as long as your version of what happened is the first one that gets out there, it's the one that's most likely to be remembered and believed.
Mhm.
And we have gone to this really horrible model. Like, I don't want to talk about it much because it can get us to monetize, or even taken down on the YouTubes, but the events that happened in Pennsylvania a couple weeks ago, because things like that, when a major event happens, it's going to be months, if not years, before we know everything that happened, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to go through all of the paperwork, all of the this, all of the that. There's going to be so much that it's going to be really hard to weed through and find out what's what. And it's really tempting to go, oh, new information has come to light. Let me look it up and see what it is, right? But almost invariably, the first information will be wrong.
Mhm.
And will need to be corrected. But once you get it inside your noodle, it's the one thing that, like, I am very much a free speech person, and I do not want this to be taken as I am not a free speech person. But because of how our brains work, there needs to be some kind of stricture put on how we treat breaking news events, because we can do a lot more harm by putting the wrong information out first and people accepting it as gospel truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even for things like 9/11, there are a lot of things that people remember as if it happened because they were misreported in the moment when everyone was tied to their televisions trying to figure out what was going on. But those initial news reports were wrong. But people still remember them and quote them as if they absolutely 100% happened. And I don't think it needs to be I don't know that that's something you can legislate without getting into weird totalitarian issues, but it needs to be part of the plan if you want to be seen as a reputable news agency, because you need to have a very public policy on how you handle any breaking news event.
Watch, Brian. We are headed straight for a
light.
a verger
Thank
and
you.
a lamp.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
They are trying to swim.
I'd let him get on the boat if he would. Two of them.
But I mean, look, to go back to some previous conversation we were having, earlier this week, or was it last week, about, when in doubt, the answer to a lot of American problems is, let's take a page out of the regressive playbook, and why don't we just roll back all the changes that Reagan made?
Yeah.
Including the news that, laws that were in place up until Reagan.
Yeah.
As well as maybe also make it, somehow very expensive to call yourself a news company if you do not primarily report the news.
Because I truly believe, like, if you're going to be called news, that there should at least be something like the Bar Association or some kind of, like, the medical board has. Like, you can't call yourself a doctor or a lawyer without some form of, like, due diligence system
The
in there.
Journalism Board of Ethics.
Yeah, there really needs to be something, because I have no problems with people spouting their opinions. Opinions are what opinions are. They're like buttholes.
Editorializing.
Right. You want to do an editorial, do an editorial. But when you're calling just everything you're making up news, that's dangerous and harmful to society. And these are some problems that come around with all new technologies, by the way. This isn't an internet problem. This is a new technology problem. Is people assume, well, this will only be, I would never use it that way, so why would anybody else ever use it that way?
Versus, the answer in the end is the lowest common denominator that makes money.
Yeah. Like, you can see this problem with everything going on with Roblox, for example, right now, where the creators and the people that actually own the software are like, well, I would never use this for harm. Why would anybody else? Our moderation is good enough. And no, it's clearly not. We have the data. You're definitely not doing enough to protect all of the kids that you have on your platform, but because they can't foresee anyone using the platform.
I wonder if that's the same mindset Nano had.
Oh, my personal opinion on everything that happened with Nano, which is why I haven't really talked about them since all that happened. Yeah, I really felt like they were like, nah, we got it. We're all good. And that is the most dangerous thought you could ever have in any kind of a community ever. Because, yeah, we might be all good, and then one bad actor, because it only takes one bad actor to get in, and oops, we're not all good anymore.
Yep.
And you have to have the systems in place for when that one bad actor comes in. And that's true on everything. What really troubles me, because Brian got really mad when banks started going online, and I saw our bank go online, and I made him close the account. Like instantly. I was like, no, we're not using this bank anymore. And I know enough about technology, I know enough about software that
Get up real fast.
as long as everybody on the internet is a saint, their banking information is perfectly safe. But this is the really real world, and the people on the internet are not saints.
Are you able to cut that tree?
Like my best friend's youngest boy just started streaming, doing he's got his own channel now.
I keep forgetting to get an axe.
And
I
I'm
can't
like,
pick up trees.
hey,
Okay, I'll try to get
he
it.
needs to put some mods on. He needs to like assign some mods because the internet.
It's
So, like
awful.
the first thing Glory did with her YouTube channel was to go on Wikipedia or one or two other sources to go find what is the majority of negative words people say, especially dog whistles, and let me just ban those. Just auto mod them.
Are we ready to summon skeletons?
But see,
We're at a
is,
dungeon. There's 3 seekers.
but this right here is what these generative AI large language models would actually be really good at. If you could train them up on hate speech, harassment, all of these things we want to get rid of, they would be able to recognize it and make auto moderation work better.
Oh.
Because that's all they are, is very elaborate pattern engines.
Yeah.
And if you kept them continuously being trained so that they could see what's being marked as harassing language, what have you, they would stay up to date. Like there are ways that you could use this technology, again, for good, for extremely valid purposes. And it's not going to be enough. I want to make sure that I'm very clear about that. It's not, you don't replace your moderation team with an AI. Like, for goodness sakes, right now, just on this stream, I believe everyone that is currently on screen has moderation of modability on this channel.
We
Yeah.
should.
And that's because, well, that has been necessary in the past.
Mhm.
And anytime I've thought about going live in a way that I wasn't sure that I'd be able to have some people to help with moderation, I have not done it just because, well, I remember times past when bad actors have shown up, and it was really great to have a whole team of people to help deal with all that. But there are some things that we could be doing with auto moderation that we really, for reasons beyond my understanding, especially since the technology does exist, and would be good PR to be able to have an actual auto moderation system that caught some of this behavior.
I mean, I saw recently that, and I still haven't verified the information, that are saying that there was a leak in the X API that showed several accounts that were all regressive accounts were under special privilege to not be moderated, and it even had the terms they were not to be moderated for.
I saw that.
That were mostly, epithets.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, a few of those terms, I don't know if I would put that under, because, like, normally that's not really used, even as a dog whistle, but most of those, yeah, just auto mod them. And especially if you see any account that is using this across multiple channels, it should become pretty obvious as an auto mod of, like, there's things the company could do to moderate that, you as an individual can't do, but it's not, in their financial interest to do it.
Well, see, what really got me thinking about this, and I'm going to be going off into weird la la land here, and I want that to be known, like straight up, right off the bat. But I am really concerned about whatever's going on over at Ream right now.
Okay, so I'm not the only one who got really concerned about some of that.
I'm closing my. I have decided I'm not using them over this. But if you're not familiar with what's going on, they very abruptly and quickly replaced their CEO. And then their new CEO put out a video where she is on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
Throughout the video, and at one point says there are things that I can't say right now because of current ongoing litigation.
Ooh.
But says nothing else.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
She is supposed to be doing another town hall, I think, this weekend.
Right, I'm out of magic.
Do you have more food?
I have regular food, but I have to go get regular armor.
Oh no! Go ahead and get magic food. Go back when you. Go back through the portal. I'll work on moving the portal over to here.
Where's the magic food?
Okay, so you need to make seeker aspic. I believe that's seeker meat and mushrooms. The magic mushrooms, the blue ones.
Monday, by the way, is the town hall thing.
Okay. And the other one you're going to want is the mushroom. It's cooked mushrooms, stuffed mushrooms, I believe is what they're called.
Yeah, I think it's stuffed mushrooms.
That I think is royal jelly, the magic mushrooms, and something else. You have to look at the pot, the cook pot, because you have to fix it in the cook pot and then finish cooking it in the ovens.
Okay. I'll go work on that.
Just make yourself 2 big stacks of them because we've got lots of mushrooms now.
Got it.
And lots of seeker meat. While you're doing that, I will build this up.
When I went online to look at what's going on, because this is something happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what has happened. I'm not going to say Brian's theory because if not true, it might. I don't want to spread rumors. Brian has a theory that makes sense and makes this not a dangerous thing. But again, I don't want to spread rumors, so I'm not going to talk about that live on the internet. See, that's something that people should get better at doing. Anyway, but what really pissed me off was when I was trying to look into this, the only thing people are talking about is, did you know that Ream is the worst place that you could ever put your fiction because they let you use AI art in your graphics? They also
religious.
Yeah. They also have a policy that if you use AI in your content, they will not moderate on that, which, I use Pro Writing Aid to do grammar checking, which is technically using AI. And by the way, is something that I cannot post in other fiction and other websites have an AI restriction because Grammarly and Pro Writing Aid disqualify you from being able to post on those sites because the way they wrote up their anti-AI policy. And that's a whole other bag of worms in and of itself. But this is all you can find because all these people are so wound up on this one issue when there's litigation against this company. That to me seems, but of course, that's not going to get the clicks on TikTok. That's not going to get the clicks on X because
you don't have real journalism anymore.
Right. All that matters,
that model didn't pay.
Yeah. And so I'm unable to find anything about, and this is why, because we're getting close to actually doing release to the point where I need to know what platforms we're doing so that we can get our, all our ducks in a row for the plan. And because of this, I've just cut Ream out. Like Ream is not going to be a part of that launch plan. I don't know if it will ever be brought back into the plan or not, but I am extremely uncomfortable with what little has been said. And it could be harmless. It could be, I again don't want to start rumors, but if Brian's right about his theory, then if that turns out to be right, then of course I would use Dream again. But because there are some benign answers to this question, but I don't know what they are. They're being very cagey about it, which again makes me feel very uncomfortable. And I can't get any valid information about this because people are really upset about what is in reality a nothing issue. Because I hate to let people know algorithmic books have existed since the 1920s.
Yep.
There's a wonderful book called Plotto that came out, I believe, in 1923, which is literally an algorithm on how to write your book. You pick a starting incident, and it tells you the entire story from start to finish. And all you have to do is fill in dialogue and a few key details. This book has already existed. A lot of the books that came out in the pulp era were written with Plotto. AI-generated books, whatever you want to call them, have existed for well over a century. And I'm sure before Plotto, they had something else to do it. I'm personally done with all of the moral panics about everything, because everything doesn't have to be a moral panic. But I can't find information about something that is actually important, because should any platform be a scam? Because there's a couple other platforms I'm kind of interested in. And again, this AI thing is the only information I can find out about them. And that doesn't tell me if they're a scam. That doesn't tell me if they're going to actually pay me the money that I earn on the platform.
Yeah.
Which is the information I, as a writer, actually need to know. If I earn pennies on this platform, will those pennies go into my account? Or to go back to the Roblox example, because I know a couple publishing platforms for writers use the Roblox example, where they get 70% of whatever you earn.
That's too much.
That's way too much. But these are things, but we're being distracted. And the actual valuable information just isn't there. But yeah, I am very concerned about whatever is going on at Ream. I don't know what it is. If you've not been keeping up with it, you should have gotten an email with the video embedded in it from them. They send it out to everybody with a Ream account. And it is, if it wasn't for the fact that this is, I feel like, a very appropriate use of the sentence, it felt like a hostage video to me. She really seemed to be in a state of duress.
Yeah.
For reasons I am unaware of. And I don't know what's going on with them, but it does not seem to be good.
Did you at all? You don't go to Facebook, but
No.
The previous CEO had done a Facebook post.
I was able to read that because some people had posted it elsewhere. But it did not give me what I felt.
Yeah,
was
it doesn't give, like, neither gives information, but like it's heavily implied that he made bad decisions with things for the company.
And there are a lot of things that bad decisions could mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
some of them involved money.
yeah. And that's the thing. If it's the company's money, that's bad. And that's one level of things. But there's also, did he take writers' money? Because that is important to know going forward, because the way if they have implemented Stripe in a way that anyone was able to interrupt an author's income, they built a cheat into the system that is harmful to writers. That's why I need to know the answer to that question. Because the reason to use Stripe is not just because that they are a credit card processor, but because you are basically guaranteeing that the people that you're working with are going to get paid. Because it's a plugin that you drop into your website and set up in there. They get this percent, I get that percent, and off we go. Those percentages are supposed to be clearly stated in the terms of service, which their terms of service did state how much they were planning to take for a thing, right? But if they lied, you see what I'm saying? There's one thing to misappropriate corporate money. That is a bad thing. But if they were misappropriating writers' money, then that means that they are lying to the writer, and their platform is 100% untrustworthy. And those are two completely different problems. One can be fixed by replacing a person who may have done some business shenanigans or maybe embezzlement or whatever, right? That's a person problem. If this was a problem with writers' income, that is a technological problem that they will need an outside auditor to come in and review their code to restore even a modicum of faith that their system is not going to continue to steal from writers.
I cannot figure out how to make stuffed mushrooms.
So you're gonna start in the cook pot? They're in that list of recipes.
They're not in that list of recipes for me.
Oh, okay. I'm on my way back. I will. There may be something you need to pick up, but you don't have an ingredient.
Only one thing that you forgot to pick up.
One ingredient. Somehow you did not touch it.
It's like I got the royal jelly, I got the mushrooms, I got the seeker meat.
Well, I may have remembered the recipe wrong, so, but it's all right. I'm on my way over there.
And the reason I'm so hyper focused on that is I've been doing this for a long time. Like I was saying in the pre-show, my oldest podcast is almost 19 years old. I remember some of the earliest, hey, we'll host your podcast for you services that were basically designed to siphon money out of your system. We will help you get ads, and we will keep 90% of the ad revenue and give you 5. Wait, that's 95. Where did the other 5 go? Right into the pocket of the CEO. And I'm not going to say what company that was because I know the person involved is very litigious, but if you've been podcasting long enough, you know what I speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I have seen earlier iterations of various problematic platforms for creators. I remember actually Blip TV was one of the better ones, but some of the competitors to Blip TV before YouTube completely took over the online video space that had similar problems.
Okay, Tom, I was completely wrong. It's the mage cap mushrooms, blood clots, and turnips.
Guess maybe I haven't picked up turnips?
Maybe not.
There should be a bunch of turnips in there.
Yeah, there is.
Well, I just needed to know because if not, I need to plant.
Yep, that's it. There's stuffed mushrooms.
Okay. While you're cooking those, I'm gonna go check the magic Eiter and see if I can't make some armor. But I got the portal moved and set up now in front of the next dwarven mine. The next mini mine of Moria. Well, the dwarves dug too greedily and too deep, and they unleashed the Seekers.
No, you're not wrong.
And at some point, Tom, we should find something that'll show us where the boss is for the Mistlands, because
Yeah, I would have thought they would have one of those little square things in there somewhere.
yeah, we have yet to find that.
But if they follow the pattern that they usually have, that would be in one of the dungeons.
Should be.
But yeah, that's why I'm very suspect of Ream, and it makes me sad because on paper they seem like a good company that I would like to actually work with, but whatever's going on, they need to be clearer about, and they need to be clear about it quicker. Because
Yeah, agreed.
at this point, there's a really crappy comedy from, I can't remember if it was the 80s or 90s, called Feds, with Rebecca De Mornay in it. Because I have a problem. I've seen every Rebecca De Mornay movie. It's a problem anyway. But there's a wonderful scene in there where they're learning to be FBI agents, and they're being taught how to interrogate somebody. And the professor asks one of the students if he's ever smoked pot, and he takes quite a bit of time to answer the question. And the teacher just stops and says, "Well, the answer could be no, but if he's taken so long, it's not likely to be the truth. Thank you. You can go back to your seat." And it's a very funny moment in there, but really, truly, if the answer is something benign, wouldn't you have told us by now?
Yeah.
Because it could be a perfectly benign problem, or a problem that has been remedied and will not be a problem going forward. But they have taken way too long for me, for my personal comfort, to trust the answer now. And that sucks, because I really had a lot of plans for how I was going to use them.
And I mean, that is probably just because they do not have, the type of people on staff who actually know how to keep track of that and understand.
Yeah.
It is. Or it could be, they don't want to say something that could upset shareholders.
Yeah.
Which that in of itself is why there's
Never a good
late
excuse.
stage capitalism. Because everybody loves the idea of being able to make money from doing nothing, but when the answer is, "Oh, I don't want to do this because I'm going to upset shareholders," if shareholders come first and your customer base doesn't, you don't have a business after a while.
Have you done any checking into fourth wall at all?
A little bit. The best thing that I can say about Fourth Wall is that Jen and James over at Fun Day Fridays use them, and they are they have earned a lot of respect from me for their research skills, and I know that they switched to Fourth Wall because of problems they were having with their previous vendor. So
they offer so one of the people I follow on Twitch, he actually uses a membership system with it, like a Patreon.
So, like I said, I have not personally vetted them yet, but I know Jen and James with Fun Day Fridays used them, and that to me is a good endorsement of the product. You know what I'm saying? Especially because I do know the reason why they switched from who they were previously using, and it's because they were a disreputable company that was okay. Well, I cannot prove neither they nor us, any of the people in the audience, can prove that the company itself was knocking off their merch to sell independently. They were not taking down duplicates of their merch on their website, from their website. And they were actively paying artists to make posters and t-shirts, or posters and t-shirt art for them. And part of that was they were splitting the profits off of the sale of that merchandise, which you can't split the profits if somebody else is getting them.
Yeah.
And so it was like a multi-tier problem for them. And so since I know that basically being scammed by their previous vendor was a reason that they switched, I feel like they probably did their due diligence. I hope, one would hope they did their due diligence
After that.
before switching to Fourth Wall. So that's why to me, that's why I said to me, their endorsement is a good endorsement, but I have not taken the time and energy to look into them myself.
Just give me a holler when you got your food and you're ready.
Okay.
I'm over here
Also, like,
crafting.
it has Twitch integrations, so you can actually set it up so I think your memberships also get your Twitch access.
Oh, nice.
Or the other way around, maybe.
But this is one of the reasons why, like, I really believe in being very open and honest about dealings that we have with other companies, because we creative people have to take care of each other, because there are a lot of people out there wanting to profit off of us. I know my inbox is filled daily with scammers. And they're really need to up their game. Like, I don't want to be that person that just like really critiques and gives advice to scammers, but like,
Right.
number one, get my name right. Two, maybe actually get the name of the book right.
Yeah. Also, if I get one more message about, hey, your products are amazing, I was like, if I get one more fucking message.
Yeah, apparently.
I turned off because I'm trying to be more active, because Cat's Chaos Cafe is my job now, and hopefully it'll get to a point where I actually make money. But currently it's the only minor source of income I have, and so I'm trying to be more like post on social media and stuff, and they're just so I turned off the message option. Like, you can't message me on my Facebook page anymore because I got 20 messages about your products are amazing, but then wanting to talk, or this is for sale. Like, is this for sale? I'm interested. I'm like, where in this post did this item say it was for sale? It was a picture of the barely complete Cthulhu head.
Yeah, the scammers are really going wild right now.
I have to admit, though, it's one of the things I do like about Snapchat is all the scammers have a very obvious playbook. And so I can tell within 2 messages if I'm dealing with a scammer on Snap.
If I'm not
'Cause they'll-
getting inappropriate adult messages on Insta, I'm getting scammers.
The one I got today,
I hate to laugh. That laugh's not at you. I get them too, and they're from people that really didn't do their homework.
today
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
posted on Threads that I had sent I had mentioned someone else, letting them know like that, hey, thanks, because of you, like I'm gonna go to college and starting like next month. And so someone then went to my Instagram through Threads and messaged me, and they were like, hey, glad, like, it's great to hear that you're going to college. Would you like me to do your homework for you and I'll get you all A's? And I'm like, what? No. What?
Wow.
No.
I mean,
It was absurd.
I think that's one of the reasons I haven't promoted anything, because I'm doing a book signing at a nearby Barnes and Noble at the end of August, and I haven't promoted it because I know that I'm going to get a whole bunch of like scammy bot messages in my DMs about this event or just in general my books.
well, that's one of the reasons why I just stopped using Facebook in general. The biggest troll invasion we have ever had on this channel was from a promotional post that went out on Facebook. And so I just stopped doing that. But I did recently start using Fedica to schedule my social media posts because they now work with Blue Sky and Threads.
Nice.
With one caveat, not all of their features are available on those platforms. They can schedule posts and stuff, which is great, but a lot of their analytics stuff they can't do. And that's actually a remarkably good thing. The privacy policy with both Threads and Blue Sky does not actually allow you to share that data. Which, one, is because Meta wants to control it all for themselves, for the Meta side of it at least, but does give me a little bit of hope that it's harder maybe to get some of that stuff out.
Yeah.
But I have started using them to schedule thoughts. I really like them because a lot of times when I have thoughts that I want to share, I have a whole bunch all at once, and I don't like flooding people's feeds. And I can set up what they call a pipeline, where this is all of my thoughts on this type of topic, and I can just flood them all in there, and then it will auto schedule them to post them on my timeline for me. So like they're 100% the thoughts that I was having, but spread out over time, so that like you don't get everything all at once, because that's just obnoxious.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. My
All right,
brain
Ginger.
is completely blank on the name of the website where I get my domains.
Hover.
Hover, thank you.
Yeah.
My brain apparently alt deleted it. It was like, you
That's
don't need
funny.
this information. Yes, I do. I actually do need that information, brain. Why did you get rid of it? We were making space for something else. Obviously.
Speaking of Threads, I'm on Threads right now, and someone's post is I find hilarious, so I'm going to share it with you guys. My 18-year-old has taken to reversing compound words indicating surprise, and it's just so vastly superior to their original forms. My flabbers, they're gasted. My boozles are bam. And my smacks have been gobbed. And I love that. Like, I'm gonna steal my boozles.
Oh, yeah,
I've heard the
my
I've heard the
flabbers, they're
flabbergasted
gasted.
one. I've heard the flabbergasted one.
My smacks have been gobbed. I love it.
I think my favorite thing I saw on Threads in the last couple weeks was one of the fashion designers that I follow on there, when she finally got to see the Ghost Right Here Right Now movie, saw that she's in the movie. She knew she was at the concert when they filmed it, but she actually saw herself in the crowd, in one of the crowd scenes. The camera actually goes right over to where she and her friend was, and she took a picture of the screen and was like, "I'm in a movie." Authentic joy is something that, like a Skeksis, I harvest to keep me alive.
What are you trying to do?
We're making soup.
He's doing
Eventually,
concussive
we'll get
damage to everything within range, and there are seekers on the other side who can attack us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, it's a seeker soldier, I'm pretty sure, by the thumping, which would have been a beast. Still a beast, but it'll be soup by the time we go in there.
Which, by the way, if anybody doesn't get that, there was a Margaret Cho short film that came out aeons ago that might still be up on her YouTube channel. And she gets really, really mad at somebody and decides that they have to die. And she picks up a hammer and says, "Now it's time to make soup."
I don't know if you saw the splish.
That's it.
I saw the green.
Yep, there's a green splish. Okay, and now to open the door and then run away, in case we're wrong. Oh. Ooh, Tommy with a fireball goes off the roof. Look at all that soup.
Sorry.
Oh, ticks.
Certain in good news, Harvey Weinstein has been transferred to the Bellevue Hospital prison ward in Manhattan for a myriad of health conditions, and has also contracted COVID-19 and double pneumonia, according to his representative.
I was thinking right above your thumb.
Oh.
Or come back in this corner and fireball in.
As of an hour ago, according to the news.
People like him really make me question my own personal morality, because I don't know what the German word is, but there's a German word for finding joy in the pain of people that are bad.
Yeah.
Because there's a German word for everything. And I have mixed feelings about the. I'm not sure where I come down on the morality of having that feeling. I'm not going to lie and gaslight people and say I don't have that feeling. I do.
Isn't that technically Schadenfreude?
No, Schadenfreude is. I believe Schadenfreude are supposed to be friends with them.
No, I thought it was just enjoying the pain.
No, it says
it's just enjoying the pain.
The definition, according to Wikipedia, is it's the experience of pleasure, joy, or self-satisfaction that comes from learning of or witnessing the troubles, failures, pain, suffering, or humiliation of another. It
because
doesn't specifically say a friend.
Okay, because German has a lot of very specific words, and like Freudscham. Freudscham is when you take joy in the embarrassment of a friend, but it's just that. But that is mutual. So, like, if a friend trips and you both start laughing, that's Freud shaman.
Mhm.
Because, again, there's probably a German word for everything.
Yeah. And if
Oh, I
there's
saw
not, there
one.
will be.
I saw one today about Japanese of how they have onomatopoeias for sensations and they keep making new ones. And apparently, this girl found a corgi and she did not feel like they had a strong enough onomatopoeia for just how fluffy this corgi was. So they now have a new one of mufu mufu,
Mufu, mufu.
which he felt translated to a unbelievable amount of fluffiness, like an almost disrespectful amount of fluffiness.
No, it's disrespectful amount of fluffiness. You know, I'm
Okay.
not going to say what kind of a book that needs to be the title of, but
It's actually
I feel like I know some people that would write a book by that name.
Am I gonna take a guess, Chloe?
Yes.
I just made the sudden decision of you know what? I'm gonna try and set up the fourth wall thingies because I technically already have an account because I made one because I had gotten a free membership to the person
there
I've
it
been
is.
talking about. And so, but I was looking at their website and like it's their actual like hosting their website and everything too. And I already own my domain name. That's why I needed to know the name of where I was hosting or where I was getting the domain name from. I was like, you know what? Let's go with it. Let's jump feet first. Let's try.
Sploosh.
It's what I'm good at.
Always good to know your strengths.
I'm good at just jumping in feet first. Well, actually, it's head first. But, without a helmet. Or knowing what's below.
At worst, it's sharks, and that should be fine.
Yeah. Might be over quickly.
If Shark Week has taught me anything, sharks were fine until the Floridians introduced them to cocaine.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's just about everything. Everything was better until humans came up with cocaine.
Really awkward segue, but speaking of cocaine,
Ooh, lots of things burning.
PBS Soundfield, which is a wonderful show that they have that talks about music and stuff, put out an episode on the great disco legend Sylvester today. That goes into like their full backstory and everything with Michael Wash and how their most iconic song "You Make Me Feel" came about, and taught me things that I didn't know. Like Sylvester was originally in a rock band, which now that I know the name of, I am definitely going to be looking into.
Oh,
that's cool. I can add people to my site. As give them roles. Like I can have managers, customer support, fulfillment support, designers, thank you note senders.
There's stuff in the other chest, Tom.
Oh.
I'm full of space. I'm out of space. I was going to go back out and
this was not on my list
everything and then come back in. Oh, actually, there's one more way, one more passage.
Again.
But I wanted to bring this documentary up for two reasons. One, because You Make Me Feel is one of the greatest songs ever written, and I will fight people on that. But also, like, if you are a creative who feels like they are like in the heart of the struggle, like all of us, it is a really amazing documentary to see everything that Sylvester went through before the actual first big break, and how in the 1970s they were able to make a career being themselves.
which is amazing.
which is phenomenal. And I like watching. I don't know. I get a lot of dopamine and even a little inspiration, seeing how those who came before us actually managed to be themselves and actually successful with it. I think that's amazing and really, really cool. So, highly recommend. It was a good video.
I'll be right back, Tom. I'm just gonna dump this.
Every time you said Sylvester, I pictured Stallone.
Really? I
Oh.
pictured the cat.
Yeah, see, I picked the cat.
Did I?
Sorry.
and this is how you realize exactly how queer Charlie is, because I hear Sylvester and I hear an electronic dance song starting in the back of my head. Because I am exactly that queer. And also, we have to be eternally grateful to Sylvester, because Sylvester discovered Martha Wash. And Martha Wash is one of the greatest dance vocalists of all time. Even though she had to literally sue everyone because no one wanted to give her performance credit.
BRB.
Barbie.
Oh, not related to anything that I've already discussed or you have currently been discussing, but my community pot thingy is 74% raised, so I need to actually start putting call outs for players.
What?
And, planning.
That laugh.
You sound so thrilled about it, Kat.
I don't
This
know
is
if
your
you're
fault.
aware of
chose
this,
very
this
much
for
a-
but I'm
yourself.
a Cancer,
Your fault for doing things.
right? Didn't think I'd get it this fast.
Oh,
Like
that every bit in her voice is like, "What have I done? I have regrets."
Can we switch over to either my or
Yeah.
somebody else's screen, since Brian's literally not doing anything?
Yeah, I kind of was just staring at the sparkles.
Oh,
Mesmerized.
we can switch back to Brian's screen in a minute, but I just had a moment of, I looked over at the monitor and went, why is everything just sparkling? I'm so
Yeah, I
confused.
was just absorbed in the sparkles. I was not even
Because you
paying
know-
attention to the fact that nothing was happening.
Because you know what happens to Megan when everything sparkles.
Sparkles.
Brian, James, Neighbor 4th, Logie, Dorset. Why is this?
Because it's only partially crafted. I'm ready, Tom, by the way. I'm back.
Okay.
The castle
Okay.
will never be finished because Brian has made that
So
impossible.
just do the outside wall, or...
The outside wall, it's not. You put them in the outside wall.
Oh my gosh, okay, I'm on my way back to move the portal.
Like literally, that would be inside the wall.
Listen,
Yeah.
I can't do the wall because you're putting portals inside of the wall.
do the roar.
Good luck with that.
There, you jumped over.
I tried
Do
to
the
end
roar.
myself forgetting that I had the thingy on. How did a wolf get down here?
There were wolves running around out there.
I noticed.
They were,
Okay. Where was I?
That explains the occasional screaming.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
realized I'm gonna both have to set up a website portion and a membership portion, but it's all gonna be one location. So that's not bad. I actually appreciate that. Never mind.
You know, I'm gonna have to look into this because this could solve another problem.
I
that
wonder
Brian
if
and
some
I
of
were
those
talking about
wolves are
yesterday.
from when the last time I was able to play. And because I had a few that were following me to help me out, and then they ran away.
Maybe.
Possible.
is everything else back far enough away from the wall?
No,
Just one portal?
no.
What do you mean, no? You keep saying this no word.
Nothing is supposed to be. You have them in the hallway. They're
Around the...
you have made it impassable. I am not going to be constantly traveling through your portals to try to put the wall up. I refuse these shenanigans.
Now you're just trying to
Also-
sell the idea to me.
Also, you put a weird chute in a stairwell.
It was supposed to be the ore chute, but that can just go away now. That doesn't have to be there anymore. That was before we had stairs.
Like, it's bad enough I can't finish the other corner and came over here because you made the other corner completely unbuildable.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Chaos.
Oh, yes, so much.
Oh, this wall?
The whole corner over here. Like, well, this wall is completely undoable. And
Yeah, I kind of like the wall and the
this,
other bit.
it
I
will
like
not stay,
this.
and this has to go away.
But it's made up to the same level as the roof. I made it match the. You pushed me in the hole.
Now I am the murder chicken.
You are now Cecil.
So you can just build the wall around and up to this
I gotta
monstrosity.
focus now, guys. I gotta try.
And this monstrosity will just be incorporated into the outer structure. That's what I thought was so cool. Is the top.
This thing was
stuff.
destroying every stone I put over here.
What? No.
Yes. Yes.
No. Bursting.
I told
I
you.
was thinking about-
I told you this needs to be moved outside in our expansion over there. That we need to start putting it, and you did this instead.
Wait till you see what they did to the tower.
Oh no, I've seen that tower is basically non-existent. It's mostly
No,
collapsed.
It just needs to be fixing.
It has to be rebuilt from the ground up, basically.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. Okay, Tom, I'm back.
Okay, because I'm just getting up to shenanigans.
I
What is-
figured you were doing things.
I mean, when you got minions, you might and fireballs, you might as well
And
just
fireballs, yeah. You send your
see
minions
how far
in,
you
just
can
fireball
pass.
everything.
So I guess I'm just going to adopt a new construction policy that if you put something in the way, I'm just going to destroy it and not tell you, and you can wonder where it went later.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
This sounds fair.
Oh, there's a secret still in there.
And if nothing else, it will really entertain Megan. So,
It will really entertain me. Yeah.
and that makes it worth doing right there. So
Tom,
Yep.
this is much deeper. I think
That
this
doesn't-
goes. Oh, there's another one. Thank you, minion. That's right, you for jumping in the hole thinking, I don't need to up my food yet.
What a good on the whole.
Oh,
I already destroyed one or two speakers down here.
that's what I
It
thought you got.
upsets me that younger generations won't get that.
Yeah.
I mean, because you didn't say puppy power.
Actually, it doesn't upset me. I just look at them and it's their fault for not getting it. They have a YouTube.
well, see, I've actually been thinking about that, and there's
Oh,
the one thing that people have not realized is that we have an entire generation that has almost entirely lost media from their youth, because all the kids that grew up with Vine and stuff, that stuff's mostly gone.
Yeah.
Like, there are a few compilations that people made that put stuff on YouTube, and if it got actually ripped and put up onto like Know Your Meme or something, it might be there.
yeah. If it's not on YouTube, then yeah, that is lost.
But
Sure.
there's
So this way.
What was it? There was someone who had their phone. They had found an old phone that had been off since before Vine was removed.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
able to they were able to get on Vine.
Yeah.
doesn't surprise
My
me Twitter would mess up like that. But yeah.
my BFF and I were just talking about this today. Like, she was just, I can't remember if it was someone she knew but their kid didn't know what the phone symbol was because they had never seen a physical phone before, and
But it's
like,
the symbol on the call button.
yeah, but like this was
She didn't know what
the
the thing
way
was.
this. Yeah, she didn't know what the physical item was, and uh this is also happening with the floppy disk symbol for the save
Yeah.
button. Like they're having, or they're starting to remove it from like some Microsoft products, that save symbol.
What are they
And I'm
replacing?
wondering if that is part of the reason why that they're
I figured
removing
this would
it.
just go on to be like modern day hieroglyphics. Like you may not know where it came from, but it means this.
Maybe.
Because there's no real world equivalent to make us understand why a red hexagram means stop.
Yeah.
Right? You see a red hexagram and you know it means stop because that is the stop sign. You know.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, it's a tricky jump.
Oh, you don't say.
would help if I had my featherfall cape on.
Yeah.
Tom, that one is on you.
Look, but it makes piercing much worse. So when you're a magic
No
user,
fire. It makes fire much worse.
look, I was just more careful with.
Yeah. Yeah, thankfully it does not affect piercing.
Oh, I can truly vouch for making the fire worse. I backed into a fire with my featherfall cloak on and caught myself on fire and just like instantly went poof. I was like human flash paper.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
no.
I lit up and was dead. Like there was no like, oh, I'm on fire. It was, oh, well, I burned to death.
Yeah, it kind of became really obvious that they had changed the fire vulnerability from the cloak when I bumped a campfire and almost died.
Yeah.
It was just like, whoa.
We stop at the hour mark or the half-hour mark?
Half hour.
Half hour.
Okay. Then we have like 30 minutes left, right?
Okay.
Wow, today's gone fast.
Am I accurate? I'm bad
Yeah,
at
it's 9
time.
p.m. my time.
Okay.
Our quest continues. I have yet to find a marker that shows us where the boss is. But also, we need more fizzy meat. So
Oh, sure. We'll add that too. Why not?
In unrelated and uninvited ghost news, they just released 2 animated music videos. One, which is actually from the Mary on a Cross one, which is actually from Right Here, Right Now, and the video for The Future is a Foreign Land, which uses the same, like, very Scooby-Doo like early like what was that, 60s 70s Scooby-Doo art style, and yet gave me all the feels. And for anybody who has yet to see the new movie and is still interested in it, it will be up and available on the Veeps platform through at least Saturday. I'm not sure when they're counting the 7 days from. But Veeps is a live performance platform, and they usually only make stuff available for 48 hours after the initial event. And they have made it a actual week now, so 7 days. So if it's from when it had its initial live stream on there, that would be from Saturday. But it is a very good concert movie. very good movie in general. Highly recommend.
So I'm on Threads again because and politicians like they some of them do a lot of good, but then they also do a lot of terrible things, and it counteracts the good they do, and it's just like, stop it. And one of those people is Gavin Newsom. He just issued an executive order that directs state agencies and urges locals to address homeless encampments while connecting those living in them to housing and support services. But it basically just gives police more power to like destroy people's stuff. And it makes me very angry because it's a huge problem here in San Diego. Like, it's a huge problem here in San Diego. There's an advertisement that's going on locally that says there's over 21,000 homeless youth here in San Diego County. And that's just the youth. That's not their parents. That's not like, anyone else. That's just
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's so messed up. Like,
So
and the support services really aren't there. Like, I've had to use those kind of services before, and they just don't have the money, and they don't have the services that they really need to make a difference. Like, they can help a little bit, but it's not enough.
I hate to be a cynical Sally about things, but hello, have you met me? I have a very bad feeling that this is, we know that he really wants to be president. And a good way to become president is, to be vice president. And I know one of the biggest knocks that he takes on the how about Gavin Newsom for the Kamala Harris's running mate is San Francisco liberal. Nobody will, that will work against her. And I have a fear that this is his way of being like, look, see, I can be tough.
Gag me with a spoon.
I really hate to be that cynical person, but this
I
really...
mean, I can see it. He's definitely a power hungry. I'm not saying what I want to say, but
because I remember I was living in California in Oakland when he was mayor in San Francisco, and there are two things I know about him. One, I don't think I'm allowed to say on YouTube without censorship, so I just won't. And the other thing that I know about him is, if it looks like it's going to get him votes or power, that's the thing that he is going to do.
Ooh, OTEP just started a live video on Instagram.
Oh, OTEP.
I fucking love her. There's one of her songs I used to listen to when I'd go to the gym, and I would run on the treadmill to that song because it had like the perfect beat for running to, and it just made you so like angry and pumped up that you just were like, ah! And it was a very effective workout song. Extremely effective.
I used to make the joke that OTEP is keeping families together because anytime I had to go visit my Aunt Karen, Brian and I would listen to her song Confrontation, catharsis, to get it out of our system before we went over. And there you go. There's OTEP keeping families together.
When you go through the portal,
the song that I was referring to that I would listen to on the treadmill was Equal Rights, Equal Lefts.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Such a good one.
Yes.
I also love her version of Royals. Like,
Yeah.
excellent. So many good songs by OTEP.
Very definitely the truth. The funniest thing about my brain is I have a hard time remembering what songs are by OTEP because I don't know exactly. I'm sure there is a medical term for this issue that I have with my brain, but they don't even carry enough of the same letters to make it make sense even to me.
Mhm.
But I have a hard time remembering and play a game with myself called OTEP or OPETH.
I can see how those could be.
The bands don't even sound alike. Like it's not like if you're
But they
familiar
both
with-
have the O and the P
Yeah.
sound.
yeah.
It's just
And-
where the P sound is.
My brain can almost never remember is this an OTEP or an OPETH song when I like want to pull it up real quick.
Mint for Sun and Minions.
And I've always found that kind of funny because they could not be more distinct musically.
Mhm.
Well, I guess they could if like one of them was like a country or a folk band, maybe. Like,
I mean, if you don't, I understand, Tom. But
It's more about forgot to eat.
oh, there are ticks like this one that's coming up here. Don't worry, I got a hammer. So if he jumps on one of us, I'll get him.
Just rolled down the hill.
Yeah, I kind of want that too. I'll jump down there. I wonder if I can go rabbit hunting with the hammer. Here, I'll sneak up on it. Be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbit.
so just because I'm wanting to teach,
And then, surprise! I even did a forward roll. Oh crap!
Oh. Oh, two of them. Take that.
just
Nice.
because I want to try to encourage more people to listen to my podcast, The Non-Binary Writer, available wherever fine podcasts are served. I'm going to still be kind of coy about some of the stuff that's coming out when I talk about it because the episode where we did some of the announcements just went out. So if you actually want to know what I'm talking about, go check that out. It's a good time. Brian and I did it together. It's kind of fun. But I have
Secret filter, Tom.
worked out the full and complete outline for the wouldn't it be funny if ideas that I put forward on that episode. I would like to, but I doubt I could figure out how idea from that episode. Needless to say,
It's
last night I
okay.
figured it out.
And you figured it out.
Yes. Last night, while my back was really hurting and I really didn't want to fall asleep, my brain went, "Oh wait, what if you?" And I went, "Oh Lord, I think she's got it." And I had a brain in the planes dance in my head because again my back was really hurting. And yeah, I may have a full outline for it now. So
Where's my wizard? I'm bringing him back to you.
I guess I should call it my not so secret project that was theorized as maybe happening on the podcast as an outline now. And the scale and scope of it will be far bigger than I thought. I don't know, is that how teases work? Did I do that right?
I think so. Maybe.
Yes.
Who knows? Not me. Not
I'm
I.
intrigued, and I've already heard the episode. I'm gonna have to listen to it again and figure out what you're talking about.
Like a crit shot.
Oh darn! Charlie gets more listens.
which is the plan all along. But no, we mentioned something that is actually going to be coming out soon, and one thing that I would really love to do but couldn't figure out how, and I did.
Here, Tom, if you want to throw your stuff for me, I'm gonna go do a quick dump of stuff. Or actually, better yet, I'm sorry that I said that.
So help me, Brian. If I travel somewhere, I'm going to start destroying portals.
I just noticed because I went to Substack because I needed my Substack link, and I was like, "Oh, I have some notifications. Let me go look at them." I didn't notice when I first looked at Haley's post that she has a picture of me asleep on there. I was like, "Wait a minute, my blanket shouldn't be like that." I was like, "Wait a minute, yeah, it would if I was under it."
Oh no! Those. Too late.
Oh, Haley's post about the trip.
Yeah. From one of the posts from Saturday night is me asleep. Initially, it just looks like my blanket, and then I was like, "Oh, there's my feet and my head." I was really relaxed. Okay. I also had just devoured a ton of fruit dip.
Okay, look, Valheim, I'm getting fed up with you. I literally thought, okay, it's time to put the roof on this one, and watched as the sky darkened and the rain started.
Well,
Did you break it? Did you summon the rain?
French words. I'm gonna try to go to higher ground.
Oh,
I'm really developing a strange conspiracy mindset when it comes to rain in Valheim. Just because, like, every time I actually work on the roof, it rains. And I just thought about it, and it started raining. Like, I'm really getting superstitious about this.
I guess
Somebody's programming is working.
I'm going back down. That's funny.
I'm glad she took that picture of you in the craft store for context of how huge those canvases were.
those were some big canvases. I had made the comment to her about, I was like, it'd be really fun to do something on this, but I'd have to call my dad to bring his truck.
I have 2 canvases that are like as tall as I am, and they're just sitting in the storage unit because I have no paint, I have no easel. All I have are the
Yeah, these
canvases
canvases
left.
were about as long as Cat is tall.
Nice.
Yeah, if you went to Haley's Substack post weekend retreat snapshot,
Yeah, I've seen them.
The picture of me next to the canvases, and some of the canvases were bigger than that, actually. By the way, in other parts of the store.
Nice.
Because it's our niece. It's great.
have-
It's a crafter's heaven as long as you have money.
On a related note, I have really wanted to start painting again.
Oh, me too.
I've been trying to do
I
more.
want to get back into
I
acrylics.
just unburied all of my paint. I have so much acrylic paint, and I haven't touched any of it in so long.
I got into oil painting, but like there's something about acrylics that is just satisfying. I mean, that's what when I was going to school for graphic design, I took a painting class and we used acrylics in that class.
I mean, you can do almost any style with acrylics.
Yeah.
True.
It's a very versatile tool.
I mean, where I live, every year they have they give an award for children's books here, and they have for 30 years now or something. And so they have like a lot of children's book original artwork, to make the books. And to see so many of them were done with acrylic, and yet they look so dynamically different.
Yeah.
Like you really get a sense of just how much you can do just about any style you want with acrylic if you have the right tools and the right knowledge.
Yep.
Versus oil is just not as versatile.
No, it really isn't.
And neither is pastels. They have very particular singular looks.
And honestly, I think oils are more difficult to use than acrylics. Like even mixing is a little more like there are some in some ways it's easier with oils to mix, but in other ways it's more difficult just because of the way, like with acrylics, the more you mix colors together, the muddier it tends to get and the less brilliance you get from the colors that you are creating. Whereas with oil paintings, it's because the pigment is suspended in the oil, you still like it's a little easier to mix and still retain some of that vibrancy. But at this, it's complicated.
I have a couple of wish lists on Amazon, some like watercolor like instructional books.
I would
because I've been trying to do watercolor in my bullet journal if I have thick enough paper, and as long as you go easy on the water, you can pull it off. I've seen some beautiful paintings done on like YouTube tutorials and stuff, like the Plan With Me channels. And I also have multimedia paper, so I could paste them.
I don't want to do it for that reason because, bullet journaling is how Charlie destroys their soul. I'm glad it works for people. I am not one of them. But I have always wanted to learn how to watercolor, and I am terrible. Terrible at it. I'm like a child's first drag. Like all of my watercolors look like baby's first drag performance. Like, oh, you really don't know how blending works, do you? Okay. Well, that's cute. You tried. But if you were going to try to get into watercolor, let me know. And maybe we could make that a project so that we could kind of politely and kindly peer pressure each other. Like, hey, so let's do maybe even set up like Discord play dates where like today we're gonna paint and be there for moral support.
I've been looking at different things to do once Peanut's back at school and I like can do stuff.
Hey, random question. If you do decide to check out Fourth Wall, let me know before you do so I can send you a referral link so that if you make money from it, I also get money.
We'll do that.
Because apparently I can refer up.
Actually, go ahead and send me the link because I am going to check it out.
Okay, I'll send it on Discord.
Is it similar to like a similar concept to Ream?
No. So Fourth Wall is actually primarily not for writers. It's actually for streamers, YouTubers, TikTokers.
Oh.
But you can set up membership tiers. So it's closer to like Ko-fi.
10-minute warning.
It's how I want to describe it, but like I haven't explored it enough to give a full comparison. But also you can set it up to have a store on there, like somebody else will make the product for you. Like you can put the designs on there and everything. Like it can be your merch shop. Your you can also here, let me share.
Damn it, Brian.
Oh, you fell through a portal?
Are you on your tablet or computer?
I shouldn't find that so funny, but
computer.
So in the private chat, I just put a link. It's to JP, aka Cheshire Pope, on Twitch. It's to their one, and it acts as their website. Like they have their books listed on there too.
Hey, Charlie, is Magenta the other housekeeper in Rocky Horror?
Yes.
Yes.
Magenta in Colombia.
Oh, there's one. Sweet. So
Let's do the top.
Tom, I'm planning on heading down there and kiting that one back to the dwarves. Because we need to clean out the dwarves from here so we can get the fizzy meat. I feel weird about killing them, but I don't feel weird about getting them killed.
You feel weird about doing?
And that's the kind of sociopath that you are.
Yeah.
Oh, 7-minute warning.
Yes. 7 minutes.
It's 9:23 my time.
7 minutes of mission.
Yes, I just gave the 10-minute warning 3 minutes ago.
I didn't hear it.
That's okay.
I think I was focused on something. I'm sorry.
You were in the middle of sharing information. That's why you were focused.
So
My brain's like that.
I feel like I need to say this for double promo reasons because I think some people might be interested but not in the actual topic. The next episode of the Project Shadow podcast is, I know this is going to be a shock to people, but it's going to be about the Ghost film right here, right now.
What?
No, right? But one of the things I really want to spend the majority of my time talking about is how it actually manages to tell a story. Because that to me is the most fascinating part of it, is how it, I think a lot of people are fascinated by nonlinear storytelling, and it is one of the best examples I have seen of nonlinear storytelling that actually does its best to help you if you haven't been doing your homework. So if you've not...
You see tentacles reaching out for me. They're not close, no.
Because I think that's one of the biggest problems with certain styles of nonlinear storytelling is you really need to be up on your homework to not be completely and totally lost. And the way that they shortcut a lot of the in-between and stuff, I have been fascinated with their method of storytelling for a while. I actually have a video up on the channel already about how they tell story. And this is like, to me, the ultimate sign of you did something powerful is when you make me love a character so much that I have an emotional impact when something bad happens to them. You know, that I feel it and actually care. Because I feel like this is one of the great weaknesses of a lot of modern fiction is I expect bad things to happen to the character, so I don't really have a reaction when it happens. It's just like, oh, there it is, finally. Like, for example, one of the great weaknesses of the most recent episode of House of the Dragon is there's a moment where I wonder if this dragon will let this guy that we've only met once actually ride him. Let's find out. Oh, oops, the dragon killed them. Was anyone surprised? No. They introduced, hey, here's a beetle that could be smashed. Beetle was smashed. I am so surprised. But not only were they able to craft a story that had emotional stakes that I cared what happened to the characters, but they were able to somehow simultaneously make it funny and sad.
I found a second one. Oop, I hear it. There it is. Ooh, honey, bread.
Okay, I just died because of weird instant server lag, so
Back to close.
we go ahead and sign out.
There he is.
3-minute warning. Everybody get back to your safe spot.
Whoa! You got all explodey.
Did you even hear me?
I heard you get back to the safe spot. I'm kind of near a safe spot. All the way back.
Alrighty. So anyway,
Path.
looking forward to putting that episode out when it comes out. Our current episode is like an hour and a half of Brian and I going through like a lot of what happened in the Acolyte and how it actually pulled together a lot of stuff from both Legends and from the books, but did so in a way that performed what I consider a modern internet miracle of making the fandom fun again. And I really feel like this is the secret we all need to figure out how to learn, because what I was talking about earlier, it's one of the things that got me thinking about this is I wonder if the algorithm on Threads is the opposite of the algorithm on that Facebook did, because I feel like Threads is very good at giving you those dopamine happy moments. Threads feels like a platform optimized for joy.
Yeah.
Which is
And
weird, considering who owns it.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't know if I have a problem with that. It's kind of what got me started thinking about this, but I have noticed the great and wonderful joys that have been popping up over there, and I love that. I love it when fandom can be fun, because that's kind of the point of it. Like, I'm done with Doom. I'll just put it to you this way: I'm done with Doom. I have enough of that in my regular day-to-day life. I don't need to add it in anywhere else. I'm done.
If my Doom is not Caleb, I'm good. I'm done.
Right?
Okay, I'm gonna jump. This way.
Jump, 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 jump. Yay! Woo!
Oh, that's cool.
Whee! There we go.
You can do so you can list your you can put a design on and like put it on products, right? Well, there are requestable things. Like you need a minimum pre-order of for those things, like, and you have to actually communicate with them and share details. But like you can do like custom zines printed and comic books.
Cool.
Nice.
But like you actually have to do like share details about you're trying to create with the team, and they'll help like manually create the product listing for you. But like they have to have like a minimum of 24. You can get a custom, you can do a requestable like custom plushie, but you have to have a minimum of 300. Which is
That's not bad, actually.
no, that's not bad. But that's really cool.
So it's got kind of a mini Kickstarter-ish thing for certain merch ideas.
Yeah, like it has like there's throw blankets that are automatic. Like you could just upload your design and then it's like somebody orders it and they make it.
That's pretty cool. Definitely gonna have to check that out. Alrighty, but definitely check out the podcasts, Project Shadow and the Non-Binary Writer. We've actually been doing stuff over there, and I'm very excited about both. And if you're not subscribed to my Substack over at projectshadow.com, you might want to do that. There are big announcements coming soon they got delayed because of all of the drama at Ream. We had optimized for using Ream for a lot of stuff, and that is not happening now. And that's because of my discomfort. I do not know exactly what happened over there yet, but I am not going to put, I don't know when I'm going to know. They're getting cut out just because I'm not comfortable using them right now. But that information will be coming out on there soon. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to see before we?
You can catch me at random times for 8 hours at a time on Twitch. Sometimes it's early in the morning because cats like to wake me up.
I'm going to start streaming again at least for a few hours. When
Did you say screaming or screaming?
I
Both.
said screaming and then corrected myself.
Okay. I'm sorry, my
I'll be
brain was
screaming.
really.
I'll be screaming when I get the tuition bill. So my Ko-fi link is there. And but I will be streaming again once the kiddo is in full day kindergarten.
And then
affiliate.
And then I will be working on some stuff for Trash Panda Feminism while Sean is away at Comic-Con. So I will be writing away for that. If you'd like to follow me there, it's meganmccarthy.substack.com. And yeah, I look forward to seeing new followers in my inbox.
Everybody's links or link trees should be down in the doobly-doo down below, and if they're not, get on Brian. Brian's been updating that. So,
Yep, that's me.
Send your wife.
But it's not on the Twitch side, I don't think.
Yeah, it's on Twitch.
Oh, yeah, I haven't got one on that side yet.
I don't think I can edit your panels. Otherwise, I'd just set it up for you.
Talk to Brian with see if we can set that up, or you can help him learn how to do it. Because Brian is doing administration for all the stuff now, so I can stay focused on the creativity side,
Oh, that's
which
fair.
is why things are actually
Into
getting
your
done.
strength. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta tag this. Oops, wrong thing.
Brian, we're ending.
I know.
Stop starting new things.
I'm not starting a new thing. I was just gonna put one up here because I could say, "Hey, I was here." Oh, the Lord will let me. Look, I'm on top of this. This is not an easy thing to be on top of.
All right.
I climbed
All
on
right.
top of a mountain
Bye.
the other day.
Bye.
Bye.